second here. Let me see if I can troubleshoot this thing. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not real handy with this, actually. Why is it upcoming? Why is the stream not streaming? It's recording. Huh. Oh, well, maybe this is a good day to not do this. Well, we're supposed to be live now. And it says it's excellent. Now, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. Whether to shut this off or start over or what. Looks like it's live to me. I'm trying to see some frame rates and 5:57 p.m. Hold the phone. Let's I don't know what to do here. Yeah, it says it's live now. Okay, that says it's live and it's working. So let's close that off. Let's get back over here and see if we have a live stream going, as we should have. Yes, okay, it's live and it's Globex. I don't know what that was all about, but anyway. I hope that, this is working. Let me just get it up on another monitor here on another computer. Yeah. All right, I'm going to just, in case this was not going out properly, welcome to Risk Neutral Trading. This is my live virtual trading journal. This will be the second stream of the day. I'm starting a new Globex Open and Asia Open afternoon stream. My typical stream normally is 8 o'clock in the morning Central Standard Time until 1500. That is the full cash market. And I have a break now and get some few miles in on the road outside there in the heat and with our daughter. And I then bring the stream up at 1700, which is the Globex Open, as you see here on Bookmap. Now, the stream is not for financial advice or trade advice because I'm not licensed to provide either of those, but I do trade live. I only trade vetted setups, which I have statistically proven to have a positive expectancy. And the good part about that is, as a setup, nothing's a surprise, right? I know when a setup is forming. If I get the trigger, then I execute the trade. I then manage the trade, and all that's live here on the on Bookmap. The charting package is IRT, which is over here, and we are in the full session, not the RTH, but the full session. So this is the just closed RTH session, and here we go with the Globex. Now we've opened, we're trading down. Gonna jump over here and see how we're doing. Oh yeah, this all closed off, so I'm not having the best of luck here today. Sorry. This is the trades that fired today. Come on now. And where is our... Oh, there we go. Come on. There we go. Now here is the RTH session. This is Asia, London, US, Globex. So it's actually Globex, Asia, London. So this is the Globex Open. Oh, that was painful. Well, I'm not doing very good today. Note to self, don't go for a long run or a walk. And on top of everything, it's a 90F or 32C right now. So yeah, here's what we're focusing on. To be a little more precise about it, let's look at the easier to view here on TradingView. There's the RTH. Close. In between from, 4 to 5. What the hell trades there? I don't know, but somebody does. It's plotting something. And here we are. Here's the open. So this is the initial balance low, the opening range low and the opening range high, and the first level to be put in was the opening range high. So we'll use that in our statistics, and see where we go here. And you'll notice that ties up here. I've never used TradingView before, but since I'm using Edgeful for my data, to try to have a better way to do this than I have been with all that coding, let's do this, and let's do this one here. Get the first dashboard up for the Globex. There we go. And then I'll switch it to Asia when that happens. Swig down some of that electrolyte. Phew. Okay, let me think now. Get out of these sweaty, stinky clothes. I just got back at 4:45. I'm just stepping and fetching to get this ready to open on time. Note to self, leave earlier. Now I need to set up a bookmap to trade with the Hedge trade management. So there's that. Here's the Hedge side. And that's one. Oh, I think I made a mistake. If I'm not mistaken, I made a mistake. Let's get back over here. Yes, should be 5. That would have made me mad. Okay, what else do we need to sweat up? We need to make sure we've got the proper trading statistics, and we don't. And we need to make sure we've got the multi-account trading, and we now do. That's because this had been turned off. I forgot my super partner wife came in and shut this stuff down for me while I was out with our daughter and her logging some miles. Okay, let me just check over here now. Make sure the Hedge side is all okie dokie. Yep. Okay. What I'm doing here is trading a 5, Lucid 5 account evaluation accounts, because that was the only way I could have meaningful trading and de-risk from 2 micros in my live account. My live AMP account, which is, oops, wrong button. Sorry about that. My live AMP account, which is funded by me. What am I doing here? I can't see. There we go. The live AMP account. So that's funded by me, but I needed to de-risk to prove this hedge theory. So that's what you have to do. I mean, that's what you do if you're, yeah, that's the correct way. I'm going to kick off the music now, which is not doing anything. Let's get over here and go here and go. Let's fire up some mambo, baby. Let's do the mambo jumbo. Get some beat in it. There we go. So we don't have anything particularly earthquake magnitude 6.55 hits southern Italy. Trump expects deal with Iran to prolong ceasefire and reopen Strait of Hormuz within a week. The Strait of Hormuz is open. There's been shipping under the watchful eye, under the approval and the direction of Iran. Ships have been going out of there pretty much like usual for the last 24 hours. So this is a safe bet here. I wish these guys would be a little more confident in themselves and not so worried about one-upsmanship and things. You know what I mean? This is serious stuff we're talking about here. Let me make sure I've got the hedge ready to roll. This is the hedge worksheet, which I'll go through in a minute. And now I'm going to get out of these sweaty clothes. Let me see, what have I forgotten to do? We're streaming. The stream is verified up above on one of my upper monitors. I have 2 standing desks here in an L, and in front of me is a 4-monitor rack. To the left are other monitors, and there are 3 machines here. There's these trading monitors, the lower ones, and one of the ones on my side desk are run off the trading machine. And you'll notice that I stream the entire monitor, not just the application. So you can always see what programs I have on the machine and which are open. And you can also tie it back to the clock and hours, minutes, seconds, and the date against the timeline on both Bookmap and IRT. Further, just a little more to further the accountability and transparency. So I'm going to be right back here. Let me just get out of these clothes. Oh, that feels better. All right, let's see now. What am I doing? Where am I? All right, we've got the first half an hour coming up. We're not there yet. So, let's see. Well, we haven't had a green candle since the damn session opened here. Now, what I'm working on is this opening range, initial balance trade by session. And I created a couple of 3 different sessions, custom sessions, to see if I'm getting this right. And I think this is a better way to go than the way I had done it. The reason I had done those custom ones is to capture Sunday. Now, what we have is the initial balance, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. I didn't change them to be Central Standard, but I will. First of all, let's look at the standard report. Here's the standard report for this, for the opening range, MES, 60 minutes, 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. This is the full session, and the first hour is the initial balance that we're looking for. Single break and a double break. 75% single break, 22%, 75% double break, and 0 no break. That's pretty amazing that there's a double break probability of 75%. So let's think about that a little bit. Now let's do what I find really the real meaningful one, which is the by days. So here you see Monday. Double break, single break. Double break is still bigger probability. Wow. That's pretty amazing. And here are the instances where that has occurred on the MES over 6 months. So let's look at the rejection, which is a real good one. Good report. 60-minute IB with the high formed first. That's exactly the situation we have. We have a 71% probability that the IB low will break out first. Oh, we got to change something right there. We got to change the zones. Sorry. Okay, and it's on Monday, so that's fine. Now, with the zones removed, the ending zone, IB high formed first, 53 and 46. It's about a coin flip. There's no, as far as I'm concerned, that's not a tradable statistic. What does that mean, the IB high formed first? Well, there's the IB high first. There's the IB low after the IB high. This is all that means. And the zones, the closing zone means that at the end of the first hour, at the end of the initial balance period, the closing price, whichever one of these zones the closing price is in, is how you determine that. Now, you start with the lowest 0 to 25% away from the first level to be recorded. So in this case, the IB high was first. We would look at the zones 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 55 to 75, 75 to 100. If the IB low was first, it would be the other way around. Simple. So much easier to do that on than it is. Now I can, well, I can't. I don't have it coded up yet. I was going to say I can do it on IRT, which I can essentially, because this is now the high and the low of the first 1 hour of the Globex. But the zones which are here aren't over here yet. I haven't built them yet. Pain in the butt. Gonna do this methodically and systematically, and if we get a trade, well, we'll take it. If we don't, we are not gonna. So there's 1700. We've got to put Blue Boy on the first print of the session. There we go. I'm having a hard time recuperating and streaming at the same time here. As soon as this Globex is over, we'll start the Asia and let it run through the first hour, and if no trades are on, then close her down. This has been a pretty crazy day. If you look back at it, there was a very little activity, and some news from Iran came out just before the open, and there was no reply from Trump and company until late in the day, and then it just popped up and then just traded off like that. There you go. So here we are. There's a pop from Iran. Traded flat. No news. Tried to pick up a little. And then finally Trump came out with something. And then just flat. Until basically the cash closed, and then it just closed those singles and continued to wind down till the session closed at 1600. And this is just 5 minutes on the bottom down here. That's how slow it's going. This may be a futile stream, but I don't think so. I'm not talking about the specific day, but I do mean in general. Because of the statistics associated with the initial balance trades of the IB. So the purpose of these Globex trades are to look at the Globex IB or opening range and then the Asia opening range. Based on statistics that I've pulled together from Static. Now, well, I don't know why I keep saying Static. Edgeful. I'm hoping I haven't forgotten to do something else there. So, okay, we're just at 1740. So this first period is not going to be in place until the top of the hour, right? Because it is 1 hour. So this is the rejection report. The basic report by weekday is nothing burger. Let's see what Tuesday. Oh, look at the difference. Look at the difference. This is quite eye-opening to do with the data. Look at that. And Monday is useless. Completely useless. As far as I'm concerned. This is the simply the single breakout. So this is single breakout and a double. Tuesday's huge. Double breakout. Be sure you remember this is double breakout. Wednesday's not much better. At this time of day, don't forget. At this time of day, it's double breakout is definitely the winner. Huh. The most probable. Actually, Monday is the closest to a coin flip for a single or double break. Tuesday. Actually, Thursday. Thursday's the best bet for to target the double break. So if we take one side or the other, then to take a trade for the double break is remember, this is for the Globex Open only. This is not TH session. And then the rejection trade. Today, Monday. There's a the 53% probability is that we break the IB low first. Once the IB high is formed first, which it is. There's the IB high. There's the IB low. Well, there's a new IB low over here. Just looking at this data, I don't see any opportunity here, to be honest with you. And that's the point. Let's look at these same reports and see if there's any reason to be standing there. Let's look at Asia. Oh, much different. 76 or 77% probability for a single break. Not so great, not such great odds on the the single break. If the IB high is formed first, it seems to be quite a bit better if the IB low is. So let's get back to the business at hand here. Boom, where did I go? There I am. What can I do for you? Oh, well, I'm busy streaming at the moment, but thank you. And Mr. Big Shot's over here sleeping. Hi, buddy. Who came to see you? Was that Mom? I tell you, that cat is... definitely connected to my wife. Well, another 15 minutes and that IB will be in, but I can tell you right now, it's a nothing burger as far as I'm concerned. There is 1 point high. What do we have here so far? We've got a 91,207. So we got about a 15 handle range. A little more than that. Yeah, more than that, because look at this big pop up we had right here at the tens. It's the 18 handle range, I guess. Still pretty weird. Of course, if you're in the rear view mirror trader, or if I were a rear view mirror internet guru, I would have known very definitely to short this, and I'd be, well, you know, sending the kids through college or whatever else. Whatever it is they say. This is the only trade I ever take. If I had to make one trade, this, I guess. They weren't through selling when it right here, were they? When the session closed, they continue on. I can't tell you how much more handy this thing is than the stuff I usually use. Okay, let's see now. What have I forgotten here? I guess everything's working right. Looks like the stream is streaming. That's good. This is just an idea that I had because I've been wanting to trade these or look at trading these Globex and Asia IB or openings. But I have a commitment to the stream in my risk neutral business here that I take no trades off the stream because I want to ensure transparency and accountability. So that's the reason I'm doing this now. Well, we've got a 21 handle ORB, 21.25 to be exact. Now, the reason I had never used, feel the need to point this out, kind of illustrate some nice things. I never used TradingView before recently, and the reason I did is with my Edgeful or any Edgeful account subscription, you get you get an indicator about many of these reports, and they're free. You just use your username and put it over there on Edgeful in a place to do it, and you get access to all of these invite-only Edgeful indicators for TradingView. And so I did that because I thought, well, let's see what these look like. And this is really handy. This is the initial balance. There's the opening candle continuation. I use the sessions, this is New York, and in a minute Asia will start over here. So real handy. And like I said, it's a lot handier than IRT, which is expensive. This costs $12 a month or something, you know? And there's, volume profiles and all. You can just get crazy as you want to get. Here's the, I don't remember which is which, but let's look. Okay, there's the volume profile for the Globex. There's the volume profile for the, there's the volume profile for the RTH session. Yeah, what is that? I don't think that looks like it's in the right spot, but anyway. So yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with them, with it, that is pretty much similar to what I do with IRT. And it, takes 5 minutes to to set it up. Now, this won't show my trades via rhythmic. It's not using the same rhythmic data as my book map, all those kind of things. But it's sure handy to use in a situation like this. Well, if we close and price remains down here, this will mean then that the closing zone is the 0 to 25. Remember the explanation? So let's go back over here and we can just see what's going on for grins. Here is basically a text explanation of what I just explained about how the zones are determined or how they're assigned. So 0 to 24% or 0 to 25. Oop. There we go. Now, big difference, huh? Notice that the other side of this coin is gone. That's because there's no occurrences of that. Looking back 6 months on a Monday for the MES. That zone makes a big difference. So to be clear, this means that there is, if the IB high is formed first, there is 0 occurrences of the IB high first break when it's a Monday, it's the Globex IB, and when the closing price of the initial balance is in this zone. You see the so yeah, this is not much fun, that's for sure. This is like watching paint dry. Perhaps I need to change instruments for this exercise here. I have purposefully removed the micro NQs and the regular NQ because of the huge amount of data. Look at the well, this is the now it's the RTH session, but there's 98 contracts traded on the NQ. Oh no, something's wrong here. This is not updating. See that? 1,700. And there's 42,000. What is going on? This is obviously plotting. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. This is obviously plotting. Now all of a sudden this updated. God. Come on, RIT. But there's a huge imbalance in data. Like this will be 300,000 and this will be 1.4 million. So that's a lot to swallow for my data ingestion in Bookmap. And again, it would be I can change the instrument quite easily here. Why is it doing that? Breakout, breakout, breakout. Yeah, these are breakouts again. I thought that this was okay. Okay. I can change this to the NQ very simply in IRT. It's a Bookmap that's a hard one to change. You have to subscribe to it and then it downloads all that data. And of course, TradingView's falling off a log simple also. It's that hard right there. Similar readout though, isn't it? Notice this? Now let's get back over here. Let's see what the stat, if there's any different stats on the Hedge fund. I don't think so. Let's check and see what the difference would be. All things being equal now, let's look at the MNQ. Nope, about the same, right? The only difference is we did have one instance over here where it was broken first. Not to worry about, I guess. Oops, not max. MES. There we go. All right. Well, we have about 5 seconds to close the IB. And there we go. So the closing print is right here. So we are in the 25% range. We are at the 25% level. I could short it, But what's the target? But what's the, what's the meat on the bone? 96? 6 handles. I would prefer to see it around the 50 handle, and then take the trade towards the low. I don't think that's enough meat on the bone with this price action. In other words, risk to reward. Because I would have to put my stop over the 50 for sure, perhaps the 75. And why do I think that? Well, because of this. So the IB high was formed first. Wait a minute. No, this is breakdown. This is, I always get these reports mixed up. Breakout is to the upside and breakdown is to the downside, or the short side. So there's 100% probability we're going to retrace to the 25% level. Do you realize what that means? This will be fun to watch. This is saying that there's a once the IB is broken, which it has not been yet, there's a 100% probability that we're going to retrace to this 25% line. That's a hell of a statistic. Now I'm going to show you why that's nothing to get worried about or upset or excited about. It's because look at how many instances there are. Where's breakdown? Right there. There's only 2 breakdowns in this data set. Of 3. 1, 2, 3. Retrace to the 50. Retrace to the 25. Retraced to the 25. And 0 times did it. Pull back to the 75%. Oh, we don't have a breakout yet. Now, if it pulls up in here, that would be reasonable opportunity. That could be a reasonable idea to short. Because there's a substantially large probability to take one or the other, isn't it? Or not? Or am I dreaming again? Hey, I don't want to do that. No, not today. Today sucks. Never mind. Yeah, so that is not a good trade. That is not a high probability trade. Okay. Hello, greetings. Welcome to the stream. This is Risk Neutral Trading. I typically, my normal stream is 8 o'clock in the morning until 1500 Central Standard Time. That's pre-market and then the complete cash market. I am now doing these Globex Open and into Asia Open every evening. So this is a Stream Junior here, the risk neutral trading. The idea behind this is everything that I'm watching on my monitors here is captured in the video, and my voiceover provides insight as to what I was thinking at the moment, and that's how this is my virtual trading journal. It's not meant to be a my way or the highway. It's a collaborative effort. So, thanks a lot for coming by. Like, subscribe, drop something in the chat. That's a big deal. That's a big help throughout the day and should develop here as well. This is my purpose of my streaming is for accountability and transparency. I take no trades off the stream. I take no trades which I have not statistically vetted to the setup to have a positive expectancy. And that's that. No, I'm tired of doing this. Okay. This is gonna go till about 3. Well, the point is I have to. Whatever I was saying until Tam came in here and we had that discussion about going for a few more miles is I'm not licensed to provide trade or financial advice, nor do I intend to, but I do trade live here on Book. I anticipate the trade setting up. When I get a trigger, I execute the trade, and then I manage it. Part of my trading journal. So here we are. We have not broken the IB yet, by the way. So there's no possibility of a trade at this point. This, I haven't got the zones built in here yet, but the IB. And in a minute, when we get to 1900, then we'll start with Asia. But it's so much easier. It's easier over here. Yeah, it's not a good probability to trade to take or set up to take on Monday. I can't tell you how much easier this trading view thing is to just view, visualize. Yeah, don't go far. I was going to say, what you could do is to Sorry about that. Lil Tam growing up. Why did they do that? Well, we're just going to stand by here and see what we get. We've already gone through the probabilities. We've gone through the likely rejection. In other words, if the high is put in first, the most likely to be taken for the single break is the opposite side. In this case, it would be the IB low. And yeah, there we go. Let's see what we do here. Where am I? I'm tired. There we go. We'll see how this works out. I mean, this thing could be a dud, but I don't think so. And what I am wondering is if I'm going to need to use the NQs, which is going to be a whole different. As I was just explaining, the data and all that is pretty intense for book just because of the recording. Is nothing to do with storage or anything, but I did record them for a while thinking I would use them for the hedge, but I'm not. Now the hedge is a form of the hedge is a trade management concept. So what happens is I put that on instead of a full stop. I by no means am suggesting that I don't use stops, but in the case of the hedge, it replaces the hard stop, and then it also changes the way I deal with the profit targets. So to continue on with the hedge description here, let's just imagine that we take a long at 75.96 with 5 micros. Hey baby, hi Panda, how are you? Oh. Two cats. Sorry. So the hedge is. So we're gonna say 7,600, and we're gonna use a 3-point stop. So that's 93s, right? I'm not talking about 76. It's 75 and 96. Let's just. And the reason I'm going to use that example is to show you with my hedging tool here. So it's 75.96, and it's a 3-point stop, 12 ticks. So 93 is the hedge level. And what would happen is I would put an order at 93 for another 5 to purchase another 5 or go long another 5 micros. And simultaneously, where did it go? Come on, don't be shy. And simultaneously, I would put a short, because we're going long. I would put a short at 93 on the mini. So the net result if the stop or the hedge gets triggered, big if, right here, there is another 5 micros and 1 mini, meaning that there is a dead hedge. And we've, the average or, the average price is 74.5. So there is a 1.5 point debit on as the price moves. In other words, at that point, price can go up and down all over as long as it wants to go, up, down, and back, forth, and you're never going to be in more drawdown than 1.5 points. Then the key is which leg do you take off first to try to get that back, to try to work into profitability. But if you just close them both off, no matter what has happened to price, close them both off at the same time, it's $1.5 points on 1 mini or 10 micros, whatever however you want to look at it. Yeah, everybody's a comedian here today. So we'll have the Asian Open at 9 o'clock. But I'll tell you a little secret. I'm losing interest fast here on this one. This is not much to write home about here. So here's a little dashboard. The OB is formed. It's 21.25 points. The high was formed first, as we've discussed, and there's been no break. Now this isn't. It's like watching paint dry, right? Well, let's see what Ground News has to say while we're standing here watching this thing do nothing. This is the source I use for news, not financial reporting news. That is investing.com and Financial Juice and investing.com, which I closed. I'm sorry. I don't typically do the news, run through the news these are the reports for today. Now tomorrow we can have a tomorrow we're going to have Jolts at 9 o'clock. And that's FOMC. And Kashkari is going to be speaking early. Oh, he's speaking at midnight. Jesus Christ, where is he? Where the hell is he? So this is investing.com, my original news source. Typical focuses on traditional economic numbers. You can filter it for wherever you are, and this is Financial Juice. What they do in their calendar, which I appreciate, is they will pull non-traditional but events which would have been proven to have a high risk potential for our auction into their calendar. And I appreciate that, because the main job for traders today is to preserve your account. And the fundamental way to do that is risk management. Well, if you don't know about a risk, you can't very well manage it or mitigate it. So I really do appreciate that. And then on this side over here, there's a squawk box. Also can be filtered for wherever you are. But what I was going to say was Ground News is I don't use any other, CNN, BBC, any of those things. If I want to get news that I believe is unspun, every article has a breakdown, who covered it, and what their typical leaning is, right, left, center, and the proportion of coverage. So you could get what I hope and believe is a relatively unbiased, as little as you can, or as unspun news, because nowadays it's so crazy. The news is so, it's so spun, so one side, prejudiced, I guess, or slanted, that I just don't bother, because I don't think it has any meaning. It's just all emotional churn, I think. So Ground News is what I use, in case you're curious. Nothing, baby. Haven't broken the IB and haven't done anything, and we're fixing to get up here to Asia pretty darn quick. PDQ. We got for Nate. Look at this mess. You want to see something funny? These are the naked points of control below us. These are all naked and retested. These are not naked points of control, of course. And this is the POC, the micro composite POC. I'm not thinking this is going to turn into anything here. It may turn out that this is a, you know, this is just a waste of, or not a waste of time, but as a, doesn't have a very high risk reward benefit to it. If I don't take any trades, well then, why am I standing here? I've been here for 7 hours now. You know, I start streaming every morning, every trading day morning at 8 o'clock. And continue through 1500, which is the cash close. Today I went for a 3-point-something mile walk with my daughter, our daughter, and then back just in time to spin this stream up. We'll see what happens at 7, and then I'll be loosely looking at it for the Asia Opens, which is 7 to 8, so Central Standard Time. I stream the entire monitor, not just the application, so you can always look at the programs open or available at the bottom of my screen here, and more importantly, the system clock, hours, minutes, seconds, and the date, and tie that back to both IRT and Bookmap. Ooh, that half gallon or gallon of electrolyte was good. Wow. That is not much. It's interesting how different they look, right? Look at Bookmap. Essentially in just one tight consolidation here around this little area. Now, disregard the session prices except for those which are EVH. So this is the overnight volume point of control, developing value area high. Those are correct, but you be sure you understand the nomenclature on these. Here is the close of the RTH session today. Sold down, so we've got this real tight consolidation. We're going to have a breakout and a retest now. They're going to come up here and test, price check at aisle 3 on this VPOC. That's what it looks like the entire session so far. 5 minutes. No, sorry, 15 minutes. 5 minutes is obnoxious, but I want to see the entire session. And this is what it looks like on the Renko. So these are just not quite as lackluster as it is on Bookmap, but. And then we can always go back to our old friends, the bar chart. This candlestick, but there you go. Look at that. And our new friend, TradingView. I hear somebody calling here somewhere. I'm not trying to do this because I'm obsessive compulsive about streaming. But I want to open up the trading opportunities if they exist here in the Globex and the Asia. And I want to, I have the commitment to take no trades off the stream. So that's why the daily stream is 7 hours long. And this is about 3 now because it starts at 1500 or 1700, which is 5 o'clock Central Standard Time in the evening, and goes until at least 1900 because or 2000 because we're going to have the Asia Open at 1900, which is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the IB is 1 hour, so we'll see how it works. I'm not, like I said, I'm not monetized in any way, so this is just me trying to be as open and transparent as I can, and I have a real problem with people who oh yeah, I was short, but I got back on the computer yesterday afternoon, and I made that all back plus $6,000. You know, I used to die laughing at this guy called Matt, who I would listen to. And he did that frequently. He had a stream of a couple hours in the morning. He's a good guy, I think, and probably doing very well, I would suppose. Good for him. But it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny because he would frequently be in the hole when the stream ended, and invariably the next day when the stream started, he had made all that back and a couple thousand more. You know. Well, I don't ever want to do that. And A and B, these are live trades. Every trade on this stream is live in the real market, not replay. That's the second problem I have. Not problem, but I just don't have any time to watch people do replay stuff in TradingView or wherever it is. It's crap, you know. If you made a trade and you did that, where's the recording? It's pretty simple. And since I am certainly no whiz-bang YouTube, you know, influencer or anything, but if I can figure out how to set this all up with OBS and edit these streams or whatever, I'm pretty sure anybody can do it if they want to. Well, we're just going to stand by here and watch them now and see what happens. Let it happen, Captain. We'll see what it does. Now, we do have a probability, but not a great one, but a slight edge that the IB low will be the first one taken out, because it is the second level. First, the IB high was put in first, and the typical data shows that the higher probability is for the opposite side, the one put in last or after the first, or however you want to look at it, to be taken out. And we are likely to take it out right here. Boop. But that's 6 handles. There's also, as we looked at in the data analysis, there is an almost 50-50 flip to take them both. So I wouldn't feel comfortable shorting up here. In anticipation of the statistic. Don't forget that there is a 100% probability that if we take the IB low, there's a 100% probability we'll retest back to the 25% level. But it's only based on one occurrence in 6 months. 6 months worth of Mondays. But we're probably going to take this out right now, so let's... Yeah, good. That's what I'm talking about. On a Monday, 53 to 46% probability This is that we'll double break. Higher probability that we'll double break than single break. And we may not break anybody over here pretty quick. We've got 10 minutes on this Globex IB, and then Asia will start kicking in. Boy, the more I like this, I know I probably sound like a dork, because I'm sure everybody on the planet has looked at TradingView besides me, but I'm sure it's not as handy, but boy, it's, as far as doing this kind of thing with these little simple indicators, and yeah, it's a pleasure. Absolutely. I'm sweaty. I got to do another 25 squats here. I do 100 squats a day. Yeah, whatever. It's really important to try to keep yourself fit mentally and physically. And this is I've been standing here since, for about 13 hours now, except for when I just went for a 5 mile or 3 mile walk in the heat in 91 degree weather with my daughter, essentially through the whole day. So going to the gym and that kind of thing is pretty impossible for me. So I have, fortunately, a large enough office here at my trading desk that I can step back and do some squats, and I've got a pull-up bar in the doorway and a bunch of dumbbells on the floor, and you got to do what you got to do. But it's really important to be fit and alert and those things. Ooh. So this is one of those cases where Monkey Boy could come out and really hurt you bad. Monkey Boy is my euphemism for our psychology issues as traders, and the reference is to evolution, because, or at least development. If you don't believe in evolution, that's fine. You can, but I think everybody agrees that the human species has been developing for quite a long time. I mean, we have fossil records back a few thousand years, I think. And in those days, risk aversion, desire to be right, all that stuff probably helped us, you know, helped us survive, which passed down the DNA and all of that. But in trading, it's not much help. The problem is that I don't, and at least this is my belief, and I'm certainly not a shrink, so I'm not licensed for that either. We are never going to get rid of those feelings and emotions, some of which are actually chemical, you know, if it triggers your adrenaline or your dopamine. So my approach to it is be consciously aware of my state all the time when I'm on the desk. And if I feel, I call him Monkey Boy, you know, if I feel Monkey Boy jumping around in the back here, you know, suggesting what a great idea it would be to take a short or you know, take this particular trade, I ask him to go out in the backyard. I mean, I don't act on it. So that's how I deal with it. And as a result, and I've been doing this a long time, I don't have a problem with over trading or, you know, patience. I stand days on end and don't take a trade if I don't have a setup. That's simple. And I only trade vetted trades, which I have statistically proven to have a positive expectancy. And rigorously, you know, correct statistical methodology. Develop a system, run a back test over a statistically significant data set, use, you know, recognized method to calculate all those various metrics and determine if it has an expectancy or not. And that's actually why I'm leaning on Edgeful now, because I am not some genius code warrior, you know. I'm an old cowboy from Montana, literally. And the first setup that I coded up here in IRT is this one, and this is the initial balance. It is based on zones. You can see it did pretty well today. It says 64 ticks and 12 ticks is 76 ticks. This was a stop right there. But it took me a long time to code this up to a fashion where I was comfortable with it and understand it. These charts that you see here on my systems don't have anything to do with the trading system. They are simply a way for me to visualize, is this thing doing what I think it's supposed to do when I expect it to do that? And that's how I use them. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with IRT's backtesting engine, and you can set up a backtest and run the backtest and you get good reporting. But Edgeful is so much less work. It takes me forever to code up a system. And I believe that it's a more expeditious way to approach it. And the backtest reports and stuff are as if not perhaps more in depth than they are in IRT. One of these weekends, I keep threatening I'm going to make a video about backtest, specifically vetting a setup and backtesting it, the way I do that, so that well, here we are, boys and girls. We didn't break either one of the excuse me, either one of the Globex IBs. There is a Globex low, IB low, or first 90, first 1 hour, and there is the There's the high. Now, there was the low and there's the high. Now this is the, that was in the first hour. This is second hour, and the Asia session will start momentarily. Now that will happen. There's, you see the Asia time frame starting to plot, the session indicator right here. This is Oscar Spiel now. That's no more of that. So let's look at the, do I have it open? Oh, I do. Okay, cool. So this is the, this is the orb for Asia. And now it's starting to plot right there now. But this is a nothing. We had no trade, no signal, nobody left on third for the Globex. And you see that the session was closed right here. So what I'm going to do to get rid of that box right up there, not to confuse it with the other one, I'm just going to take it off. And the new one, where did it go? Now this is the Asia data dashboard. So this will now plot the 1 hour of the Tokyo or the Asian session. And we'll see what happens with that. See if we get a trade out of it or not. Yeah. So back to the statistics then. Where I was heading with that was, this is these trading system for the opening range trade. Now I have 2 or 3 different ways I can do this. This one is based on Edgeful, using the zones right there. This was RTH. So okay, so this means that I can run this back test, and I can say, okay, I can run when I do the, well, let's just do it. What do you think? Huh? Hold on, let me get the chapter markers going. What else we got to do? Huh? You taking medicine or what? What happened to my P? There we go. All right, so the way this works is, this is Investor RT, by the way. I'm going to back test on the MES, 2 contracts, Globex session from 7 to 1600. Oh yeah, we can try this one out. The one that we just did over here. Oh, wait a minute. That may not be right. This is the full Globex. So it's going to run the entire session. Let's go back. Let's do the RTH, which will be, I think, more meaningful. And that's 2, if I'm not mistaken. 830 to 1600, okay? And I'm going to look back 90 days. And if I want to have, what kind of reporting I want, do I want to have do I want to chart the P&L? Sure, why not? Back test, okay? Now this is going to back test, looking at every. Wait a minute, I clicked the wrong button. There we go, back test. Notice up here that the back test, what happened? We didn't get anything. So I've got to change this. I did something wrong over here. to do with that session. Let's see if it backtests okay with that Globex session. That was pretty weird. I didn't think that would be the case, but who knows? Globex, 1530 to 1500 Sunday through Friday. 1530, that's not right. Yeah. I don't know, but this is all fun here. I'm not sure what I was doing with that, to be absolutely honest with you. I don't remember. Let's see if we get a report. There we go. Well, we did. How cute was that, huh? So here's the reporting that is generated by IRT. There are 80 trades, $3,500. Favorable excursion is 573. Adverse is $151. There's 61 winners. Average winners 348. Average loser. I'm sorry. Max winners 348. Average loser is 79.60. The 16 stops. Largest average stops $80. 10 consecutive winners in a row and 3 consecutive stops in a row. Now we can shut those down. And this is the actual trades. If you want to plot them on this little handy dandy chart, every one of those trades is plotted here. Date, time, entry type, exit type, what happened with the profit or loss, etc., etc. And here would be the equity curve, which looks pretty pathetic, even if you say it fast. Oh, wait a minute, I know what you got to do over here. I think I got to change this to 5 minute, was it? 5 minutes, I think. That's the equity curve, basically. Not very good. But that's how it reports. Okay, that's the purpose of this, is just to illustrate the report. We wanted to look at a real proper back-tested result. Hey, Tamarama. Ooh, did you get them all in? Cool. What a big girl. It's amazing to see how she's grown up. Phew, blows my mind. We could do the original one, but I'm not going to do that here on the stream, and I don't suppose anybody would be interested in it. But now, those are the statistics, right? So, Edgeful, I can do the data that we've been doing, and I can see that the probability here, right, was in this one for the Globex is right here. Now let's switch. We've started Asia, right? Let's look at that one. Here is the Asia open, which we just had. And I can prove it. I'm not lying, right there. So it's plotting the initial balance, right? The IB high was first. The IB low is second and lower, just like we had over here. They're going down, in other words. And here's the IB session, so we've got to wait for the first hour. Now, looking at this by weekday, this is Monday, so this is a little better. We got a 76.92% probability that we'll break out one side, and only a 23% that will break out both during this. Why does this say Tuesday? Hold on, nobody move. Why is this saying Tuesday? Hold on. By wick, no? Because this is looking for tomorrow. And never mind. here are the probabilities. Now let's look at the rejection. So the IB high formed first so far. That has happened. There is a 71.43% probability that the IB low will be the first one taken out. And that's with, it's not with any zone. I gotta figure out why keep forgetting that. Sorry. The zone, let's make it all days, and let's make that Monday. Okay, we got that. So there are the probabilities. Much less, you see that? Let's see how this reduced. First break is the low. The IB high was formed first. The IB low is now 64% probability. But the closing zone is going to make a big difference, as it did in the Globex. Oh my. And now if if things are working properly trading wise and you're making money, this algo's probability that you can have over here with these guys is got some pretty amazing tools. The algo optimization is pretty incredible. And here, I still have it open. Here we go. This is the algo optimization. And I want this one. I think I do. Is it this one? No? This one? No? This one? Well, okay. So, damn, that's not what I wanted. I have a better picture of this, but I had it up and then it went away. I don't know what happened to it. Huh. Oh, wait, I know. I had it open already. Yeah, there we go. So here are the stats around the algo or the setup, the script. These are the Monte Carlos. You pick the Monte Carlo, and this is the one I picked. There's the average trade, win rate, profit factor, drawdown, total trades, edge decay. Here is what the equity curve looks like. This is the drawdowns. This is the strategy health. In other words, are you overfitting? Are you making some crazy thing that would not hold up in a live market forward testing? Here's the trades versus out of sample. Win rate, profit factor, drawdown, total trades, average trade, average loser, max win rate, trade performance, trades by day, trades by hour, long short, window, monthly, by exit, splatter plot, P&L distribution, R multiple. Pretty comprehensive. Now, I haven't seen it in that reporting of theirs, of Edgefield's. In IRT, it'll automatically just also spit out the Sharpe ratio or the Soltino, which is, those are really well understood numbers or data points. But I'm thinking that it's going to be okay with Edgeful to do what I need to do and alleviate all of this coding that I'm not good at. If I was a whiz bang at coding, it would be a no-brainer, you know, easy peasy. So here's our high so far for Asia, and here's the low so far for Asia. We're ticking down. And let's go see on the easy to see one. Here we go. Highs first, IB highs in first, lows second. And of course this can change. If all of a sudden price turns around and goes up and makes a new IB high, well then the IB low was put in first and the IB high was put in second. I mean, it's just common sense, but that's how it works. So there's that. All right. Now I haven't brought over all of my, I know what I can do. Football. What am I doing here? We can put Blue Boy Jr. on the job. There is the start of Asia. Tokyo. This is the start of Globex. There's a nothing burger. And if you want to get real tricky, now I can push these levels across if I have them coded in IRT, which I do for the RTH session. But here's the poor man's way of doing it. There's the IB low. And here's the IB high. Right there. And now we have the Asia high and the Asia low, right? So there was no break on as we know, in Globex. So let's just, I'm not very good at this. Let's just flop this down here. And let's flop this down here. I don't know where the first print is. Let's call it in there somewhere. No, wait a minute. We can look at exactly what the first print is in TradingView. Yeah, it's exactly the 96 even. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was plotting in TradingView. Let's we go to 96 even over here. And right there. So now this is the this is the Tokyo high, IB high and lows so far. And I'm going to be pretty you know, the further this goes along here, the less warm and fuzzy I feel about putting a trade on. I don't want to be sitting up here exhausted managing a trade into the night. You know what I mean? Especially with the the poor statistics on Monday. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I can't tell who's really here or not, but drop something in the chat, say hello, like and subscribe, of course, that's always great. The idea of these Globex and opening trades is to not look for follow through down the road. You know, like I'm not looking for a follow on trade that would go into the night. I'm going to be wrapping this stream up at the top of the hour. I can tell you that right now. I'm already yawning. Sorry. I hope I was not on mute. Here's the IB box. Here's the much better view of it over here. And here we have it on Bookmap. Now we only have a 12-point IB, remember. So if they traded all the way across from one end to the other, it's only 12 points. And you start talking about 25-point retracement and stuff, you're looking at 3 or 4 points, and that's not enough meat on the bone. I'm thinking, just standing here, I may discover that I've got to switch instruments to the NQ likely. And then I could set my hedge up same way. My trade management hedge. To be absolutely honest, one of the reasons I started doing this was to get away from this random, craziness that goes on in the day, with the tweets this and the something else that. It is so random and I don't know. It's random, I guess. Let's put it that way. And as I said early on in the stream, I say every day in my regular live stream, which is from 8 o'clock Central Standard Time until 1500, the main objective of a trader nowadays is to maintain your account. And the fundamental way that you start to do that is with risk management. And if you don't know about some random, potentially critical risk that drops out of the sky because somebody, his butt hurt about somebody else saying something first or whatever, some goofy tweet, and you can get clobbered. And you've done everything right. What always comes to mind and that I use as an example is about, a couple months ago, Friday morning, 10 o'clock, True Social tweet, dumped the market 229 handles out of no place. And here's the best part. What Trump was accusing China of doing, and for which he was going to, put a 200% tariff or some silly crap back in those days, which tanked the market 229 handles. Neither one of those things happened. Neither one. China had done nothing, and as a result, Trump, i.e. the U.S., did nothing. But if you were a trader without fully, you didn't have stops or anything in the market, you weren't fully aware of risk management, you lost your account. Easily. So, yeah, that's why I was thinking that there might be more normal activity. And the next thing that I'll look at, if this doesn't start panning out, is I'll look at the DAX. Maybe the FTSE, but probably the DAX. For just that reason. To get away from the craziness, this geopolitical sideshow we got going on over here. I'm not used to that. I'm sure there are people that love it and are trading the hell out of it, but I'm not used to it. So Now here's something that's putting in, if you notice. I'll stop Ram and Raven here, but this is why I'm doing this stream. And potential opportunity. If we pull back here, we're at the 50. There are those who will short this in anticipation of taking this low. And I'm not going to be that one because I'm not that confident of it on this day, even though we have only 64% probability that the IB low will be the first to be taken. Now, we still haven't added in this closing zone, but it can have a big impact on it. And we have another 30 minutes to go. That's in the IB, which is another very, a lot can happen in 30 minutes. Well, I'm being paged by my Lord and Master, so I'm going to go see what she's up to. if you didn't listen to me and you took that and you took that 50 to the IB low, there has not been a break of the initial balance, however, and there's still another 20 minutes to go.